That's why when people say, who's the best guitar player, I go, Jeff Beck.
Great player, my favorite guitar player.
Who's the best guitarist of all time? Quickly.
Beck.
Jeff Beck.
Probably the person who I've admired the longest and the most consistently is Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck was never one to compromise. While other guitarists of his generation adapted to the expectations of fame, he pursued something different, music that was technically impeccable and emotionally raw, without the constraints of commercial appeal. His career was a testament to innovation, a relentless pursuit of sound that always took precedence over nostalgia or mainstream success. So when the opportunity arose to perform alongside Rod Stewart once again, it should have been an exciting reunion. The two had once shared a stage as part of the Jeff Beck Group, creating some of the most electrifying blues rock of the late 1960s. But the moment they started rehearsing People Get Ready, it became clear to Beck that this performance was never going to happen. We rehearsed, and I could clearly see that it was going to be a major train wreck, he admitted. For one thing, he wanted to sing People Get Ready, which is in the key of D. I'd worked out this fantastic intro, but he couldn't sing it in D, it was in C, so that intro went out the window. To an average listener, changing the key of a song might seem like a minor adjustment. For Beck, it was a deal breaker.
What keeps the collaboration with Rod Stewart from happening? Is it a different, is it clashing personalities or clashing vision for where it should go?
It's football, his family, him and his manager. Get rid of them, we'll have an album.
His playing style was built around open string phrasing, intricate voicings, and microtonal bending. The decision to shift the song down a step wasn't just an inconvenience, it altered the very mechanics of how he approached the instrument. The idea of reuniting with Stewart had been met with enthusiasm from fans who had long hoped to see them share the stage again.
The indication was, when he came to the El Rey, that it would be a great idea because the audience went absolutely ballistic. They went mad when he came on. And I got a phone call, which he never calls, on the way to the airport, going, "Where are you going? This is the greatest thing, you know, have you read the reviews and all that?" And I know him well enough to know it's a waste of time, you know. Because I'll go to the studio and it'll be 3 days late because he had to go back east. And I don't do things like that.
Their early collaborations had been fueled by youthful energy and a raw, bluesy grit that helped define an era. But time had changed both of them. Stewart had become a mainstream superstar, embracing different genres and constantly evolving his sound to remain relevant. Beck, on the other hand, had only become more meticulous, refining his technique to an almost obsessive degree. Their careers had taken vastly different paths. Stewart had thrived on reinvention, moving from rock to disco, to pop ballads and back again. He knew how to play the industry game, adapting his voice and persona to fit whatever sound was in fashion. Beck was the opposite. He had no interest in following trends, nor did he feel any obligation to give audiences what they expected.
He wasn't a good band leader.
Right.
You know, he didn't have the personal touch with the musician.
He played what he wanted to play, and if people appreciated it, great. If not, he wasn't going to change for them. That refusal to compromise had been the defining trait of Beck's career. Unlike his contemporaries, many of whom were willing to make creative concessions for the sake of wider appeal, he remained stubbornly dedicated to his craft. He had no major hit singles, no radio-friendly anthems, no desire to cater to the mainstream. He preferred the purity of instrumental expression over commercial viability. It wasn't that he harbored ill feelings towards Stewart. The two had their differences, but there was respect between them. They had simply grown into different kinds of musicians, shaped by their own choices and priorities. For Stewart, a great show was about energy, charisma, and audience engagement. He was a showman at heart, someone who thrived on the connection between performer and crowd. Beck was different. His approach was more introspective, built on technical mastery and sonic exploration rather than entertainment. He had always been a musician's musician, admired by those who understood the complexities of his playing. This divide between technical precision and stage presence is something that has played out many times in rock history. Musicians who prioritize feel and accessibility often find themselves at odds with those who demand perfection in their execution. Eddie Van Halen famously hesitated before playing on Beat It, worried that a pop track might not align with his musical identity. Yngwie Malmsteen has been known to clash with vocalists who don't meet his high standards. Even Robert Fripp, despite his collaborations with David Bowie, has been selective about live performances, unwilling to compromise on his meticulously constructed soundscapes. Beck's decision not to go through with the Stewart reunion was a reflection of that same principle. He wasn't interested in delivering a half-hearted performance. He had spent decades refining his playing, pushing the boundaries of what the guitar could do. To step on stage and perform something that didn't meet his standards would have been a betrayal of everything he had worked for. It's rare to see an artist so unwavering in their convictions. Many musicians, particularly those from Beck's era, have softened with age, willing to make concessions for the sake of rekindling old glories. Bands reunite, classic lineups reform, and nostalgia tours sell out arenas. But Beck had no interest in looking back unless it was on his terms. He had always been a difficult artist to pin down. He could have been as big as Clapton or Page if he had wanted to be. He had the talent, the presence, the originality. But he didn't crave the limelight. He wasn't concerned with legacy in the same way others were. He just wanted to play, and he wanted to do it his way. That's what made his decision so unsurprising. While fans might have been disappointed, anyone who had followed his career closely would have known that Beck was never going to settle for something that didn't feel right. The past was the past, and unless it could be revisited with the same level of integrity that defined his best work, there was no point in going back. Walking away from that performance wasn't about ego or stubbornness. It was about knowing where the line is drawn. He understood better than most that music, at its highest level, is not just about what's played. It's about why it's played. And if the heart isn't in it, then it's better left undone.